ruthless woman.
Will you give me a chance?
A menace of a man.
But we can still go out and dance.
Ooh, I knew
There was something
about you.
I could love.
Do you love me? I can't deny it. A ruthless woman with a wicked man. This is bound to work out well.
So this video is something I made entirely with Kling Motion Control 3.0 with the facial binding, so the best kind. It is in 720p because I found that the 1080 is not worth it. It doesn't look better. And so this is me singing all these parts on video, putting the video into Kling, and then Kling generating that as the characters whose faces and outfits I created elsewhere. So we're gonna go through this entire process and I'm gonna show you everything I learned on the way. First, we're gonna just see how you access this on the Kling website. And I prefer to use the Kling website because the facial binding, the binding elements, is not available on, at least when I was doing this 2 weeks ago, it was not available on any of the other sub websites, the art lists and the different stuff. So when you get on the main page of Kling, you go down to generate, and this is on the left. You click that, and here you get the choices of image generation, video generation, and motion control. You click motion control, and here on the left, you add the video that's going to be the blueprint for the movement, the talking, the doing, everything. And so you pick your video. Then you download the video or upload the video, and then on the right you download the image of the character that's going to be generated by the AI. So you click that, it goes in. Now the next thing you do when you have these two, you get this option, and this is when you have the video 3.0. You get the option to bind facial element to enhance consistency. And this is the binding, this is the facial feature binding that makes this better quality than other stuff available. And so you click here on the right, and here you can create, so if you have nothing, you create a new file. And you click on this, and then you get to upload images, up to 4 images, and it should basically be just the face, not the body, from like frontal, maybe smiling from the side, maybe some other facial expression. And you can also upload a video. If it's like, if you're going to be creating you can upload a video of you having all those expressions instead of using pictures. Now, if you already have made characters like I have here, then you're going to see them. You can pick one. You can't see what is in those images. To see that, you need to go on Assets. You click Assets. Then you go to Principal Assets. And there you're going to see your personas that you have made. And these are personas both for other videos and for motion control videos. Motion control has to be only faces, so no bodies. As you can see on the bottom left, I tried to do her like her dress and the side and everything, and it says no body for the motion control. So these pictures are not allowed. It just has to be faces and different directions of the face. And don't put in pictures here that have bad skin or have any bad elements that you don't want showing up then, because it'll really very much rely on the pictures that you put in here. That is why I have 3, because if I put in the other pictures, they had a bit of more skin texture that wasn't right, then it had bad effects on the rendering. This one is better done because here I have exactly the side, the front, the smiling, the mischievous smile, which is like the closed mouth smile, and this has a very big impact on how the rendering will be. So maybe even not more than the base picture that you put in each time, but it is important what you put in here. So, and in addition, you have a space here where you can put in a prompt, so you can write whatever you want. There's like a windy day, or it's raining, or you can say, I only used it once when they were giving me bad teeth, and I said I want nice clean teeth. Down here you pick the resolution. So I use 720p. I found it was better than the 1080 because 1080 becomes very sharp, and I think it looks worse. So, and how many renders you want. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 to choose from. I always did 1 because sometimes I learned something from when it was bad and I could fix it, you know, take a different video that doesn't have that problem. A lot of the time, the problem will be originating in your video. At least it did for me. And then there is one more thing you gotta choose, and that is, do you want character orientation matches video or character orientation matches image? If you want it to be accurate and human and real, then you choose character orientation matches video. It is the most accurate one. Character orientation matches image gives you a more AI kind of image, and I can show you the difference. This video, I thought that too much the AI was borrowing proportions from me, so her head is bigger and her arms are shorter, and that is stuff that it took from me. I will show you in the rest of the video that a lot of the times if it gets confused, it'll borrow stuff from you. So I chose the character orientation matches image and made this video. If you click up here, you can see how you made it. And this is what you get. So you can see immediately it's much more AI. It's much more like smooth. The character does look more like the original character image, but the AI feeling is prevalent. It's not at all the same human feeling that the matches video does. And up on the top, there is also the possibility to use video 2.6, which is the older version of motion control, and it doesn't have the binding facial element. It doesn't have the feature binding. So it's worse. I never even used it because I wanted good. And then you click generate, and it usually tells you it's going to take 10 minutes, but if you do it at night, it sometimes takes 3, of course, depending on the length of the video. So it's very, very different. And then here you have you can see all your old videos. You can scroll down. On the right, you have them just as pictures. So if you want to scroll quickly, you have that. And now I'm going to show you everything I learned in this process. So the first thing I did was I recorded a bunch of videos, and then I made a chart where I penciled in which parts were good for each part. So the girl, the guy, where I sang what in the best way, because I'm not a perfect actress. I get very distracted. You have to put the music on, put the camera on and everything. So it's not every time you're like in the role. So I chose the best parts, and then I cut that in DaVinci Resolve. So I had these little parts, and I tried to keep it as short as possible, so like 3 seconds. But I even had certain that were 27 seconds. And here you can also see that the original sound, when I was recording, I had the full song with the beat, everything. And then I mute that. So I put in the stem that I got out of Suno of the vocal only, so the a cappella vocal, and that way with the video goes only the part that is supposed to be sung by this character. So I'm even muting out the parts that the other person is singing, and of course no background sounds and everything. First problem that I found immediately was this. So as you can see, the guy is making some kind of weird I have no teeth movement while singing. And then I looked at my video that was the basis for these kinds of situations, and I saw that I have very pale lips and they're not very visible. And when I smile, the bottom lip, you can't even tell it's there, right? And so the AI couldn't tell it's there. And it thought that meant there were no lips, right? So therefore, I had to go out and actually buy lipstick. I was smart enough to use eyeliner and mascara from the beginning, as you can see. But I didn't think I would need the lipstick, right? Because I thought it could like see the interior of the mouth, the dark part, right? And that's not enough. So I put on this red lipstick. I looked like a vampire hooker. And as the vampire hooker, I got videos that worked much better. So I did not have the lip problem at all. So if you have that with the lips, just put on lipstick. I'm telling you, if you're a dude, you better have good lips or you're going to feel very weird when you record this. I couldn't even look at myself. On these videos, when I see them, I can't look at myself as the vampire hooker. But it worked. Also, what I did was I took my hair, and as you can see, it's all pulled back. So for the guy, I pulled it back completely in a ponytail. There was the ponytail, but that didn't make a problem. But even for the girl, I pulled it back so you could see the ears, because basically I know that motion capture, the tilt of the head is often calculated by the position of the ears. And so I wanted the ears to always be at least partially visible. Right? So that is a good thing, and it worked. I never had a problem with the position of the head, never had a problem with the eyes. So I think that those things, that using the eyeliner, the mascara, the ears are visible, those are good. remember the lipstick. If you don't have naturally red and very clearly visible lips, right? The next important thing is what kind of camera are you using to film yourself, because I started filming, these are videos for another song called Fear the CIA, but you can see I was filming with my cell phone, Huawei, 13 years old, and it blurs out, the focus is lost at moments. That doesn't work at all. It has to stay sharp on your face, the focus has to stay focused. So finally I used the Canon R10, EOS R10, and that was perfect because it has eye tracking and it will always stay where the focus needs to be. So good quality, good lighting, so everything is very nicely visible. The next question is the starting position. Does the beginning of your video clip need to be in the same position as the reference image of the character? And of course it's good if it's close, particularly the body position. If you're going to be turned to the side, then it's good that it knows what the side looks like. But other than that, actually you have a lot of leeway. I used a lot of mug shots just of my characters looking forward, while my video would just be cut wherever I thought it was good, and sometimes my head would be entirely turned to the side, and that was not a problem. I got one video refused, this one, and it's not logical because it said it can't recognize me as a human, and this opening shot was fine. So, I mean, not fair. But do keep it as a general rule that your eyes, your nose, and your mouth should be visible in the opening shot. And when you're in the video also, you can turn around, as you can see in this video, no problem. You can flip around to the back and back again. It doesn't jam in any kind of way. As far as workflow, I would also recommend to get your character images first in the backgrounds, in the positions that you imagine them, and then record the videos starting with that kind of cropping, because cropping is also important. There can't be more of you than there is of the character in the reference image, because then the AI will have to guess what's going on. And also that you get those angles, because I would be recording videos first, and then I thought, okay, I'll put in the first frame, I'll tell the AI, okay, put this character in this position on this background, and no, AI is very difficult to get to do that. You get all kinds of weird effects where the character goes to your house, you go to the character's house, you look like a witch, and lots of stuff like this happens, and it's very difficult to finally get the angles that you imagined in your mind and that you already recorded the videos in. So then I did the opposite for the red lipstick videos, and I would take the characters first, that I had the angles, I knew that the picture was already produced, and then I would perform taking that into account, how much I cropped the video and which angles I used and what was my singing direction. Another important question is hands. If your hands are going to go up into the shot and be visible in the rest of the video, but they're not visible in the beginning and particularly not visible in the reference image, then the AI is going to guess what kind of hands those are going to be. And it's going to start guessing based on what your hands look like. So as you can see, for the girl, it's sometimes guessed very well. So her hands turned out fine. They give her pink nail polish, perhaps not fitting for the dress, but it looked fine. So I didn't have a problem because I'm a girl, she's a girl, it's not that far-fetched. But when I was doing the guy, here you can see the arm going up, and the arm is not proportionate to the body. It doesn't look right. So if you want hands in the image and you want the hands to look correct, you have to start with an image where the hands are in it. Like for example this, where he's moving away from the wall. The hands look correct because they were already in the reference image. Of course, motion control will give you the glitches that all AI makes. For example, here I moved around too much and the AI thought it was an earthquake and the entire background is doing the salsa. Then you get hands sometimes where there were no hands, and sometimes you can use those clips, but you just gotta zoom in on the face and just cut that out. So this situation here where the hook appears for the lamp that was in the reference image in the binding element, so it has nothing to do with this scene, and it just like grabbed it from there and put it in behind his head. I mean, I left it in because I'm not gonna go crazy, but it ain't right. And then just some general information. Motion control is made to be one person at a time. So you can put in a reference image where there's two people, and the effect, from what I've seen, I have not tested this in other people's videos, is that either the two people will be doing the same motion, or one person will be doing that motion and the other person will be doing something that you really can't prompt for and you don't know what it's going to be. So basically it's one person in the video that you're recording, one person that is in the output. Also, the background is basically static. This is not completely true because in some of the images, for example, it caught on to that there are branches behind the guy and the branches began moving in the wind, so that was nice. But in the picture with the girl, she also had branches and they weren't branchy enough. She has no wind. So, but basically static backgrounds. Okay, and just finally at the end, I'm going to address how much this costs. So if you are on Kling, you can go in here and you can see, yeah, well, I can click purchase credits. I don't know exactly where I found it to begin with. But here there are plans and there are credits that you can purchase. So you can have like the basic not paying anything plan and then just purchase as many credits as you need. And I have made, because there's like $5, 330 credits, then they get a little cheaper. I'm going to show you the differences later. And then there's plans, right? And definitely the credits are cheaper if you take a plan. So I started with the 660 credits standard cheapest paid plan, you can say, and that's the plan where you're allowed to use the videos you make commercially. So I don't know if, it's not really commercial if you don't make any money on it, but still. So this is like the basic plan, $8 per month, and if you do it yearly, it's a little bit cheaper. They say it's 34% off, so I haven't calculated this, but let's assume that's correct. And these, basically it's all the same, just you get the different amount of credits. And then you can, if you're very rich, you can go for the ultra thing new. I'm not that rich. So, and I made a little chart that shows the differences. So basically how the Kling plans, I didn't go all the way to the ultra because ultra, I'm assuming that no one who watches YouTube videos is going to use Ultra. But how it works, so basically if you have a plan, then you pay between 75 credits per dollar. If you have the basic plan, then Pro, you get 90 credits per dollar, so a little bit more already. The Premier, 99 credits per dollar. Is definitely better than when you purchase the credits in amount of credits. So if you purchase anything between $5 and $20 worth of credits, you're going to be paying 66. You're going to get 66 credits per dollar. So considerably less than the 90 or 75, right? And then if you purchase bigger amounts of credits for bigger amounts of dollars, you're going to get more credits per dollar. So, but the difference is that these purchase credits expire after 2 years. So you can keep those, and if you don't have time to work on it today, then you can work on it in a month or a year or something, and that might be useful for those of us who have a life. And for the planned credits, so the a little bit cheaper credits, those credits disappear every month. So you get 3,000 credits per month. And then if you haven't used them that month, poof, they're gone, right? So that was okay for me because I knew I was going to use the 3,000 credits in the month and I'm going to keep it for the next month because I'm going to definitely make another video. But then summer and stuff, and I might not have time, so you can just get rid of the subscription, the big subscription, or even all of the subscriptions. You still keep your purchased credits, and then you can go back and get a subscription, like the basic subscription, just so you can use it commercially. And also you get bonus credits every day when you generate videos. Like me, I was like a couple of days I was like generating like a madman, so I would get like 35 credits per day. And then if you generate less, you get like 10 credits or 20 credits per day. And those expire after 2 days, after 48 hours, I think it is. So if you want to use them, then you got to use them. And 20, it doesn't even buy you 1 3-second. You need 27 credits to buy 1 3-second video on motion control. So alone, it doesn't do anything. And here I just gonna say that I generated 57 videos. Actually, I think it's 58 because I deleted one that was really, really bad. So 57 videos of motion control for this 3-minute video that I'm going to link the video in the description so you can see the whole thing and just be judgmental or whatever, or enjoy it. And that cost me 3,800 credits. So I had I had a lot of 3-second clips. I had little short like reaction clips, but then I also had certain that were like 25 seconds or 15 seconds, longer ones. It's up to 30 seconds per clip. So it went really fast, and I just did like 2 regular videos in the middle, which I ended up using one, and the background isn't perfect. It's this one, and it's sort of, you can see that the background, because I needed for her to move, like for him to move, like here, I just filmed myself moving, and that way it even changes the light a little bit as it approaches. It was okay, it was good. But so that is included in the costs I had for Kling. And then we're going to just look at how much each of these videos costs. So the Kling Motion Control 3.0 is the one with the element binding. It's a little more expensive, but this is where you can bind the face. This is where you get the really good results. All of my videos were that. And if you use 720p, which I did, then one output, so you can choose, you see 2 or 3 or 4 outputs, then it's going to cost 2 or 3 or 4 times more. But one output is 9 credits per second. If you use the 1080p because you want it to be crisp, then you will pay 12 credits per second. And now the seconds, it's minimum 3 seconds, maximum 30 seconds, and the seconds are counted to the nearest full second. So if you have 3 and almost a half a second, then it's going to count as 3 seconds. If you have like 5.53 seconds, then it's going to count as 6 seconds. So that's then. And here I also said that remember that your video editor might count parts of a second as frames, because it does. So DaVinci Resolve, for example, if I have 50 seconds I did that by accident, there's no need to do that, 50 seconds frames per minute, per second, then it's going to count 25 as your middle point. So you can't go beyond 24 if you wanted to count within that first second. I'm very cheap. I was calculating this shit. So this is how much it costs. And the old one, the Motion Control 2.6, so it's the old one, a little crappier one, and I don't know how it really works because I wasn't even gonna try it. It's definitely cheaper. And one final thing, if you edit in DaVinci Resolve, which I do, which is the best free editor out there, you will have problems with Kling videos. And switch to CapCut. CapCut is free, it's a little less advanced, but it's good also, worked perfectly for all the Kling Motion Control videos. So best of luck with your motion control videos, and this is the link to the video of the song that I am discussing throughout this video, and more is to come with other music soon on this channel.
He was undercover Fred, and he promised he was dead, but was